In the midst of a tense courtroom, Nia, a single mother, stood nervously before Judge Callisto, known for his strict adherence to the law. She was there to contest a $200 parking fine, a burden she struggled to pay. As she searched for the right words, whispers from the audience filled the air, heightening the tension. Suddenly, a high-pitched voice cut through the murmurs. But before starting this beautiful story, tell us in the comment box where you are watching this story. It was Maya, Nia's 6-year-old daughter, who piped up, "Mom, I'm hungry. Can we get some hamburgers?" Gasps echoed in the room, and Nia's cheeks burned with embarrassment. In a courtroom known for its seriousness, Maya's innocent interruption felt shocking and out of place. Nia glanced down at her daughter, worried that this outburst had jeopardized their hopes. Judge Callisto raised an eyebrow, momentarily surprised but maintaining his composure. He turned to Maya, his tone unexpectedly gentle. "Did you say hamburgers, young lady?" Everyone in the courtroom leaned in, captivated by the unexpected exchange. Nia held her breath, praying Maya wouldn't respond again. Instead, the little girl seemed lost in thought, gazing at a painting on the wall, completely unaware of the gravity of the situation. Judge Callisto then returned his attention to Nia, creating an uncomfortable silence that made her feel exposed. After a moment, he addressed Maya again, asking, "Is there anything you'd like to tell me, young lady?" Maya stepped forward, her eyes wide with innocence. "Yes, sir. My stomach is growling. I'm really hungry, and we haven't had breakfast yet." Nia's heart sank further as her daughter's innocent request broke the courtroom's tension. It was a moment of vulnerability amidst a critical situation, highlighting the stark contrast between childhood innocence and adult worries. The morning rush had been chaotic. Nia knew they should have grabbed something to eat before heading to court, but getting Maya ready and ensuring she had everything she needed consumed all her time. Navigating rush-hour traffic while making excuses for Maya's school and work felt like a juggling act. Now, she worried the judge might view them unfavorably. Though Maya's innocence was charming, Nia began to apologize, only to be interrupted by Judge Callisto. With a slight wave, the judge warned Maya that court could be lengthy and dull, especially when hungry. "Why don't you come up here and tell me more about these hamburgers?" he suggested. The courtroom fell silent, surprised by his unexpected inquiry. Maya looked at her mother, seeking permission. Nia, unsure of what would happen next, could only nod. Maya bounced over to the judge's desk, beaming as she approached. The normally stern judge watched her with a hint of curiosity. Tension filled the room as everyone held their breath, wondering how Judge Callisto would react. Would he be angry for the interruption? Nia's life felt like an ongoing struggle between work, childcare, and making ends meet as a single mother. Each day began as a balancing act, especially when Maya woke up sniffly and coughing, signaling an impending cold. This morning was no different. Nia had to get Maya's medication before her bakery shift, so she packed a bag with tissues, mints, and Maya's favorite stuffed animal for comfort. In a rush, she wrapped Maya warmly and rushed them out the door, hoping for light traffic. Yet every traffic light seemed to conspire against them, turning red and making the short drive to the pharmacy feel endless. When they finally reached the store, panic set in. Every parking space was taken. Spotting a vacant space next to the door, Nia hesitated. It was marked for wheelchairs, but time was of the essence, and with Maya coughing in the back seat, she made a risky decision. "It'll only take a few minutes," she told herself as she parked there, convinced no one would need the spot while she dashed inside. Unfortunately, what should have been a quick trip stretched into 10, then 15 minutes as the line crawled along, each customer's prescription taking an eternity. Once she finally obtained the medication, Nia rushed back to her car, guilt gnawing at her for parking illegally. But her worries intensified when she spotted a vivid orange envelope tucked under her windshield wiper. Her heart sank. It was a $200 parking ticket. For Nia, who was already struggling to make ends meet, that amount felt like a gut punch. It represented over half her weekly grocery budget. How on earth would she manage to pay this in the coming days? Nia meticulously calculated her expenses, factoring in everything from gas to her daily coffee. The $200 ticket loomed large in her budget, and the harsh reality hit her. She simply couldn't afford such a fine. Now she faced a tough decision: pay the fine and risk falling behind on rent, or appear in court to plead her case. Just the thought of entering the courthouse filled her with dread, with images of intimidating judges and complicated procedures flashing through her mind. But the weight of that $200 fine was too heavy to ignore. So she decided to take her chances in court. If she presented all the details, perhaps the judge would be understanding and grant her some mercy. Leading up to the court date, Nia immersed herself in parking laws and practiced her arguments for days, her nerves escalating as the day approached. Would the judge even consider her reasoning? Could she convince him to overlook the ticket? As she walked into the courthouse, with its towering ceilings and stern-faced security officers, her anxiety spiked. The stories she'd heard about Judge Callisto's strictness made the atmosphere feel dark and oppressive. When it was finally her turn to stand before him, Nia felt her hands trembling uncontrollably. She knew she had a lot to say, but would she find the strength to say it? Nia's voice trembled slightly as she described the event. She shared the challenges of being a single mother, emphasizing her frantic rush to pick up Maya's medication before work, which ultimately led to her receiving the parking ticket. She had practiced her justification, hoping to convey the difficult circumstances that had caused her mistake. Throughout her speech, she remained polite and articulate, trying to earn the judge's understanding. Judge Callisto listened with his characteristic sternness, his expression unreadable. Despite her efforts, Nia felt frustrated by his rigidity and his reputation for strictly adhering to the rules. He seemed indifferent to the context surrounding her infraction, focused solely on the fact that a violation had occurred. As he reviewed the case file, Nia's heart sank with every passing moment. She had prepared a solid defense, yet the judge's demeanor suggested he was not easily swayed. He sharply questioned her, zeroing in on the parking infraction without considering her reasons. Nia braced herself, fearing not only that he would uphold the fine, but might even increase it for taking up the court's time. Just when she was ready to lose hope, an unexpected moment shifted the atmosphere. Maya, who had been quiet throughout the proceedings, suddenly piped up, asking for hamburgers. Nia hadn't prepared her daughter for court etiquette, and she was stunned by the outburst. Apologizing, Nia explained that their hectic morning had prevented them from having breakfast. She worried the judge would view her as both a careless driver and a negligent mother. Meanwhile, Maya and Judge Callisto sat side by side, and even the courtroom seemed to empathize with the innocent child, simply trying to lighten the mood in the somber environment. Leaning forward, the judge spoke to Maya in a gentle tone, acknowledging how tough the morning must have been for her. His first question was simple: "What type of work does your mother do?" The judge's gentle tone gave Maya the confidence to respond immediately. She proudly shared how her mother worked long hours at the bakery, crafting delicious cakes and treats, and even took on late shifts as a waitress at a nearby restaurant. The judge nodded, intrigued, and asked more questions, gaining a deeper understanding of Nia's life as a single mother juggling multiple jobs. As Maya spoke, it became clear she was aware of her mother's struggles. At just 6 years old, she described how Nia often worked tirelessly to make ends meet, leaving them with little time together. The courtroom fell silent as they listened to Maya's heartfelt account, shifting their perspective from viewing her mother merely as a traffic violator to recognizing her as a devoted single parent facing significant challenges. Maya's candidness revealed the emotional weight of Nia's situation, and it stung Nia's heart. She hadn't meant to share such personal details, but her daughter's innocence often uncovered truths they both felt deeply. A wave of sadness washed over Nia as she reflected on her past heartaches. Being a single parent was about more than just balancing work and childcare. It involved grappling with the betrayal that had led to her current predicament. Nia had started seeing Darius, her boyfriend of 4 years, when Maya was just 3. After serving time for a minor drug charge, Darius promised he was clean and committed to their small family. Love and hope had clouded Nia's judgment, allowing her to trust him completely. She was saving for her college education, dreaming of a fresh start for all of them. Nia envisioned a future where she would thrive professionally alongside Darius, raising Maya together. However, that trust was shattered one morning when Nia woke up to find all her savings gone, along with Darius. The hardest blow came when she discovered he hadn't just taken her money, but had also run away with her younger sister. This betrayal cut deep, leaving Nia to navigate her struggles alone. Darius had been secretly involved with Nia's sister, luring her in with empty promises and ultimately betraying Nia. The devastation of this revelation was profound. Darius hadn't just stolen her future. He had abandoned both her and their daughter, leaving them heartbroken and alone. Despite Nia reporting the theft, the money was never recovered, forcing her to piece together her life as a single parent. The emotional toll of betrayal, compounded by the loss of both her sister and partner, led Nia to abandon her college dreams. The financial strain caused by Darius's theft meant she had to focus on juggling multiple low-paying jobs just to get by. This tragic incident explained why a $200 parking fine felt like a crushing burden. As Maya shared their story in court, the atmosphere shifted. Judge Callisto, who had been known for his strict demeanor, appeared genuinely moved by the young girl's words. He leaned in, eager to understand more about Nia's struggles, and his expression softened with each detail Maya provided. To Nia's surprise, the judge's eyes reflected a hint of empathy rather than the hard-nosed rigidity she had expected. In a remarkable turn of events, Judge Callisto addressed Maya directly. "Well, Maya, since your mommy broke the parking rule, what do you think her punishment should be?" The courtroom fell silent, stunned by this unprecedented question. Nia's eyes widened. Did the judge really think a 6-year-old could weigh in on this? Yet Maya, unfazed, looked back at the judge with compassion and said he should decide, as he was the capable one. Laughter erupted in the courtroom, a rare sound that even caught Judge Callisto off guard, causing him to smile amidst the usual seriousness. It seemed that Maya's innocence had disarmed him, prompting a change in the proceedings. Everyone waited with bated breath as Judge Callisto leaned back in his chair, deep in thought. He finally raised his hand, calling for a brief recess. As everyone stood, the judge whispered instructions to the bailiff. When the bailiff returned with a brown paper bag, murmurs of curiosity rippled through the courtroom. What was the judge planning? The judge took the bag from the bailiff and handed it to Maya with a warm smile. "You're welcome, young lady," he said gently, noting that they needed to address her rumbling stomach before proceeding with court. Inside the bag were juice boxes and sandwiches, and Maya's eyes lit up with joy. Nia was overwhelmed. She never expected such kindness in a courtroom. Even a small gesture like this felt monumental in their tough situation. After the unexpected snack break, the judge resumed the session, but the atmosphere had shifted. Rather than making his usual quick decisions, Judge Callisto carefully reviewed Nia's case. He discovered her driving record was clean, and that this was her only parking infraction in 9 years. Turning to Nia, he delivered his ruling, and gasps filled the courtroom when he chose to dismiss the ticket. Applause erupted. It truly was a moment of relief for Nia, lifting a heavy weight off her shoulders. But Judge Callisto wasn't finished. He produced a piece of paper, explaining that he understood the challenges of being a single parent. The paper contained a list of local resources for single mothers, including childcare support and career training programs, many of which were free online courses. Nia's eyes welled with gratitude. The dismissed ticket felt insignificant compared to the help she was receiving. Unsure of how to express her thanks, Nia stammered her appreciation, but the judge simply smiled again. "This is justice with a touch of charity. No thanks needed." News of Judge Callisto's kindness quickly spread through social media and local news, highlighting his genuine concern for Nia's situation. Not only did he dismiss the ticket, but his support inspired Nia to take charge of her future. She enrolled in online classes while utilizing childcare assistance, feeling a newfound sense of hope and security for her and Maya. Judge Callisto, too, experienced a transformation. His encounter with Nia and Maya reignited a long-dormant empathy within him. He realized that while the law is sacred, its true purpose is protection, not punishment. This story beautifully illustrates that compassion and empathy can flourish even within the rigid walls of a courtroom. What's your experience with judges and courts? Share your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video.